Friday, almost 11. This is starting off to be a pretty good day, I think. I have lots of plans. The first one is to take things to the recycling center and then get a few groceries. Don't have much money left in the bank, but I do have a United Healthcare card that's giving me $25 worth. And I'll let you know some more in a minute or so. Okay, watered the garden. Got a little block of ice, a little thing of ice from my water cup. I've got the ice, little handheld ice carrier for like if I buy ice cream or milk or something. I put 2 blocks of refreezable ice in there. And I was all ready to go and I forgot what I'm really going for is the recycle center. So I put the bag of kitty cat tins and the bag of crushed up soda cans. It sure looked like a lot when I was lifting it and putting it in the car. It doesn't seem like too much. I'm going to guess $6.57 is what I'm going to get. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. I already saw a truck delivering a lot of chairs and awnings and stuff going into the neighborhood. So this is the start of the summer, the weekend, Memorial Weekend, peoples and families and travel and all that. So the highway's probably going to be crowded, maybe. We have different levels of groceries. We have Food for Less, Aldi's, and then the local decent one that I shop at around here is Stater Brothers. That's like a family that has a bunch of stores. There's Ralph's, there's Kroger's, there's Vaughn, V-O-N, Vaughn's, and then there's Albertsons. They're a little more expensive, but they have a sale. So going to the recycle place right now. Oh, the highway doesn't look too bad. Well, we're here. Signal so I can pull over. There's the, alright, park right here. See, it's not much at all. It looked like much and hanging in the garage, but it's not. What I do is I go in here and they have these roll around bins. You put your cans in there. You take it over there to where that lady is. They take your driver's license number, write down your address, and then they weigh your stuff and they tell you what you will get from that. And then this little office here, you take your driver's license and who you are or whatever in there and you get your money. They have these bins, then they have a bunch of these roll around. See, that doesn't look like very much, and it isn't, but I'm doing my part. And there's a list of how much different things weigh and the price per thing and all that. Cat food cans and soda cans are 2 different types of things, so he's weighing them in there. And you have to separate the jugs from the lids, I think. Some people do that. Sometimes people come in with a lot of... After this weekend, there'll probably be a lot of people coming in. There you go. $3,500 bucks. A Hyundai. $588. That's about the least amount I've ever gotten. But apparently I didn't have that many cans. Maybe next time more. Generally I save this money and use it for like admission to open mic night, or I save it for something that maybe I need, or a need comes up or something, which is fine. It's cool. Ashley would rather just throw them away, not me. Are you kidding me? You can get some money out of it. And people that have nothing, absolutely nothing. Get on with it, Shirley. Let's go to the store, grocery store. Okay, and now something that you can do in California you cannot do in Missouri. It's called a U-turn. Things that were for sale and things I need for that recipe. We'll see how much this costs. Don't know if I'll have it. Okay, let's guess how much this grocery haul is going to cost. I'll bet you it's going to be a lot more than I think. In the process of putting things away, yes, I bent $5. I got one of these neck fans. We'll see if it works or not. And I'm going to water the garden. Oh, come now. My $5 watermelon. It's small, but we'll see. Blueberries, 3 good ears of corn. Had a good chat with several women at the corn. We're all making our way through the corn, and because I was born in Iowa and raised with corn, we had corn all the time. Was giving them some tips of fresh versus not fresh corn. You open up the top of the corn and you take your thumbnail, find a kernel, and you push down. If it goes right through, it's fresh. If it a lot of resistance, it's not fresh. I'm going to have a pizza for supper. I know it's hot, but heck, I'm going to do it. Got all this stuff put away. My famous friend contacted me. He'd asked me what role, movie, or whatever that he has done that I like. Well, I only saw one of them, of all the things he's done. So I said, well, it's not really a fair question because I haven't seen the other stuff. I said, what role do you like? What did you enjoy doing? Haven't heard an answer from that yet, but he said, and I said, oh, by the way, if you could have superpower, what superpower would you want? I said, I choose invisibility. And he said he chooses to be able to read people's minds. He says, what do you think? And I said, some people don't have much mind to read, for one, and some people have such filthy minds, I don't know if I'd want to. But then I said, if you're in an audition or situation where you're for your job or something, it might come in handy to know what people are thinking. So I'm going to put all this stuff away, I'm going to water the garden, do some poop patrol, come back in, sit down. Got some couple things from the medical people with crinkly windows with my name behind it. Crinkly windows are usually not are ill boding, you know what I mean? Kitty cat's glad I came back. I told you I was coming back. I guess I'll start the fan up. Get air circulating in here. Ceiling fan here. No, I haven't done anything really enjoyable. At the store, you know, you talk to people and stuff. That's cool. And I have my shirt on that has my name, Shirley, on the back. And I was totally open, and I was feeling really good about myself. And if I was feeling, you know, I could tackle the world, which is a cool feeling. It really is. People will come up to you and talk to you and be nice to you if you have that feeling inside. I know it's strange, but it works. Now, if you're a blowhard like our fearless leader, it doesn't work that way. But if they see that you have a genuine glow from within, people are drawn to you. Okay, do I have enough water in there? Yeah. Gonna go water the garden now. Ash went to get Spencer, and she should be home probably around 10-15 minutes. Hopefully I'll finish this before, because I don't want to ruin their bonding time, etc., etc. Stuff to do, of course. Just watered. I watered early this morning. I watered now, and I'll probably water when the sun starts going down. My green beans, 2 types of tomatoes, bell pepper, zucchini, lemongrass. Poor little fellers. Dog poop. Canister. And we're going to put it in there. Let me open hold this open first. stink inside? Poop Patrol. As I call it, Poop Patrol, it makes it sound kind of fun. You know, hup to, get that poo, get that poo. You know, makes it sound kind of fun. And when a kid thinks something's fun, they're going to do it. Especially something that part of your life. Washing dishes, going to the bathroom, cleaning up after yourself. If you make it not so bad, it's part of life. Don't look at it as a drudge. Find a way to do it. And now I have to go inside and find ways to do it. Not that. The poor gnomes have had a little bit of decimation. Hurricane, a tornado Spencer came through, and he takes and he yanks them up off the glue knobs that I glued them down to the concrete. He yanks them up. Kind of laughs like, look how powerful I am. I'll have to find some way to fix them so that he can't do that, or at least it's not so fun. Father's Day is coming up in a week or so. This is a thing that has many red slivers of plastic. And you can line it up against something curved, and then you lock it in place, and then if you're like doing floor tiling, you go up to like the pipe that's in the wall or a corner or something, and you put it, and it holds its place, and then you take it over to the tile, and you draw how the indentations go on this thing. It's a contour gauge. I'm not sure if Scott has one or not. He's into contracting. I mean, that's what he does. I would have liked to have had one when I was working on the house down in St. Louis, the old 100-year-old house. We were tiling and stuff. I would have liked to have had something like that then. They didn't have them for sale then. That's 25 years ago. I got one for Brian and one for Scott. They weren't very expensive. Got them at Harbor Freight, and maybe they can use it. Maybe Scott has one. I don't know. Or at least they can play with it for a while. You know, you never grow up, right? You can grow old, but you just don't grow up. You can grow old, but don't grow up. Oh, I'm going to try this. I've not had this flavor. This is mixed berry Chobani Greek yogurt. I'm not a big yogurt or avocado or other healthy type stuff foods person. Oreo cookies, that's different. No, like John Panette, late great John Panette said, salad? A salad is a promise that a meal is following. Are you kidding me? That's not food. So I've got my huge glass of iced tea, my yogurt, things that I'm going to have to put away, brain to sort out, plan of attack on what to put away and what to throw away and all that stuff. I guess if I start some of it this evening, it'll be just little things that I know that I can throw away. And tomorrow, starting in the morning, it'll be stuff where I need a fresh brain to do it. The only thing tomorrow is Ash is home. It'll be Saturday. Spencer's home. Baby's home. Daddy's at work. And Sunday, Daddy will be home. I think he's off Monday. So, boop. Yeah. It is now almost 3:30. She ought to be rolling in real soon. So all my outdoor stuff is done for right now. Poop Patrol and watering the garden. Poor garden. Soil out here can suck donkey dick. I mean, it's awful. It is awful. Now, I don't know if it's that way because they dug this all up out here, and any good dirt when they built houses is long sold off somewhere, or if the dirt out here is just shit. I'm guessing that the dirt out here is just shit. We're very close to high desert, and there's just like only thing that really grows out there is like cactus and weeds, tumbleweeds. Yeah, Laura Camp, I watch her show, and she is moving out to LA, but she has her house in Germany still, but she found a a tumbleweed, and she thought it looked so cool. She took pictures of it, and she made a stand that makes it rotate around, like slowly, and it's going to be a really cool thing for her to see in her house and all that. But it's like, there's so many of them out here, and they are prickly, and they have little spiky things, and they have such small roots that a good wind will just blow them right out of the ground and take them, and they distribute their little tiny prickles everywhere. So there's pricks everywhere. Kind of like Washington, D.C. Why do you always have to go to politics, Shirley? Why? I don't know. I guess I gotta get whatever out of my system. I'm very glad I have not tried contacting a doctor. What I think I'm going to do is you do it through what they call the patient portal. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I thought I could finish talking before that sneeze was coming. The patient portal. And you try to make an appointment or whatever. If you have something really weird or whatever, you write it down. And that's why the one lady contacted me back. I'm going to make an appointment for my yearly whatever appointment as soon as I can get one. And then I will put in the little box, if there's a cancellation, please call me. I feel urgent needs to be seen, and I'm not going to the emergency room. This, like I said yesterday, people in other countries that have national health care. I mean, I had a British pen pal. When he was feeling poorly, an ambulance came to his house. A doctor came to his house. They don't have that here. Maybe in Appalachia or something, but not around. No, not in this country. No. This is the mecca of capitalism, I suppose. Now, Russia never used to have so much capitalistic stuff they do now. And China, and they're both kind of following the trend. It's not necessarily the best thing. I liked growing up in a small and a medium small town. Cedar Rapids was a medium small town, or medium big, I don't know. Smaller than Iowa City, where the University of Iowa is. Bigger than Marion, Iowa. But, it was small enough that you could drive from one end to the other in 15 minutes. That's it. No super duper. They have one super duper highway that goes through the town and goes up north somewhere. But when we moved to Missouri, the first thing that struck my brain was highway, 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 highway. Wow! And how do you remember where you're going? When you grow up, it's next to the hardware store with the Mina bird. Everyone knew where the hardware store was with the Mina bird that everyone went to see. Everyone knew where Beaver Park was, where the Beaver Park Zoo and all 5 of its animals, maybe not that many. See, there was a donkey, 2 monkeys, a couple bears, a lion. The lions were taken from the Bruce Moore Manor, great big Edwardian house with lots of land, and the guy that lived there a long time ago had lions. Instead of dogs that guarded the property, they were lions. And when he got old and died and they sold off the property and this and that, the lions were adopted by the zoo. And they have like a little old McDonald's farm sponsored by, what is it? Oh, I can see it. DeKalb, which is they fertilizer for farmers and stuff. It was sponsored by farmers stuff. And there's just a little farm with a donkey and some chickens and ducks. Maybe a cow. I don't know if it had a cow. And then the rest of the zoo, there were a couple spider monkeys, bears, lion. Do they have anything else? Probably not. But when you're a little kid, it's cool. It was really cool. I loved going to Beaver Park. when I got old enough to ride my bike across the big street, First Avenue, the main street, I would always go over to the park and see the zoo. We had an art museum. Grant Woods was from around there, and they did have an art museum dedicated to him with his works in it downtown. But museums and zoo, that was always my refuge in St. Louis. When I was feeling bummed out, I go to Forest Park, which is this huge area. It has the 80-acre zoo, free zoo. Has a history museum, which is pretty cool too, and the art museum. So if you go through St. Louis or stop or get stuck in St. Louis, I recommend those places. The art museum, the zoo, the history museum. And there's a lot of buildings around there from the 1904 World's Fair, and Washington University, right at one end of the park, is also, the buildings are from the World's Fair. So St. Louis is really a cool place, and it could be really awesome again, but for the peoples. And then the battery wore out. So I had it plugged in for a while, and I had half of a frozen pizza, and put the other half away, and put out everything else that needed being refrigerated away. I had purchased some ears of corn, so I defrocked them and cleaned off all the corn hair and all that. Put them in the fridge so they'll be ready to eat or cook and eat, or all of the above. Kitty cat's right here. Yeah, he says it's time to be on your lap. Yep. The thing in the crinkly envelope that came is health related, I guess. Welcome to, where is it? Loma Linda is the hospital. It's a Loma Linda University, and there's a medical office building over here. That's where Ashley works. Brian works at a totally different hospital in a different direction. This has all kinds of information I'll have to look at. And a big magnetic thing to stick on the refrigerator of emergency numbers. That's great. And then underneath is the second package of stuff that came. And I could possibly be able to get some kind of grocery assistance. This is a California program. And Brian gets kind of pissy because he says a lot of poor people know how to use the system and get everything that they can. I'm not trying to use the system, but if I get a little assistance here or there, it's going to help me a lot. And that way I don't leave this mortal coil, owing everybody everything. Kitty Cat's decided he's going to turn in for the night. I will have to look at the paperwork when my body and mind is fresh in the morning, and I'm going to sit here and watch some YouTube and veg a little bit, probably fall asleep a few times in the chair. It's 7:45 right now. I'll go to bed pretty soon. And hopefully by the time I go in to go to bed, I'll have a list of where I'm going to start. I think the very first thing is looking for a picture of my pen pal, Bernd. He is from Kassel, Kassel, Germany, which is northwest, way up there. I told him, he had sent me, we used to correspond back and forth with cassette tapes. And he had sent me a couple different pictures. One with a haircut with straight hair, and one with really curly hair. It was a time period like 1978 or something, and real curly hair was, maybe it was it earlier than that? I don't know. Curly hair became a thing, a permed hair. And I told him, I have a picture of that, and he doesn't believe me. He thinks that I'm just telling him that. So I told him I will look for it this week, and he's, again, in Germany, just says, yeah, right. Okay? So I think that's the first thing I'm going to do in the morning. After getting up, putting something in my stomach and going to the bathroom, then I'm going to look for that picture. Will I show it on my vlog? You betcha I will if I go to look for it. Hopefully I'll find it. And then start putting stuff away and rearranging and throwing defunct crap away. Gotta do it sometime. My leg's twitching again. It's falling apart. You get to a certain age, you start falling apart. I cut up that watermelon, and it's not bad. It's a decent one. Not a whole lot to it, but it's a decent one. I might have a little of that for my quote-unquote dessert. I ate supper 2 or 3 hours ago, like at 5 or something. So a little watermelon and a whole lot of water and tea. I'm going to start drinking more water and tea. You know, they have these giant drinking things with a straw in it. Brian has one. I think Ashley has one. And on the side is written, 8 in the morning. Good morning. Have some water. And then like an hour or two later, written on the side of this thing, where the water level probably is, it says it's time to have some water all through the day until you drink that whole gallon for the whole day. But I have some distilled water for the plants, and when I get an empty container, I can write on it, because that's about the same amount as in that drinking vessel. I can write on there, it's 9 o'clock, your water level should be here. So, yeah. Hey, Brian's home, I can hear him over there. Spencer was throwing this big piece of chalk around. I gave him some chalk, and Mom and Dad gave him some chalk to draw with. And he thought he'd toss it up and down, up in the air. Be a big guy. And I went up on the roof of the patio cover. And he thought for a second, and I know it really didn't hurt him. Okay? It wasn't really a horrible thing that happened to him. And I don't know if he knew that I knew that. He puts his hands up to his face, and he goes, and he starts this crocodile tear stuff. And he actually can make tears come out. I can do the same thing. So, okay, hiring for movies, I can cry at the drop of a hat. I did a lot of crying growing up. I was really miserable. Yeah, you're miserable now, go away. So, he was crying, and I saw a video on when someone throws a temper tantrum or something, how to divert their attention, because the part of their brain that's throwing the temper tantrum is not the part where they can communicate what this is or what that is. Like, what is this color? What is that? And do you see that car? So I thought I'd try that. It wasn't working. But Mommy and Sebastian were on the swing set, so he went over there to do that, and I kind of made my escape. But I said, I think you learned something. What? I said, you have another one. So, it was my favorite color. I said, what color was it? And he had to think. It was like a pinky orange one. And I said, well, you do have one more. I said, how about if we learn the lesson not to throw it up in the air anymore? And he got involved with going over on the swing set with Mama, and I made my exit. Now I'm in here. Kitty Cat's on his way to sleep. I've got to put this healthcare stuff aside so I can tackle that and mail it off right away. Bunch of stuff like that. Maybe start taking my blood pressure once or twice a day, keeping track of it on the calendar I have on the wall, and make a doctor appointment and all that, like I mentioned before. It's alright, Kitty Cat. You're fine. Oh, golly. Doesn't take much, does it? For what? Everything. Well, water. Pump, 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 glug, glug, glug. Well, water. Oh, Shirley, you're... Ugh. Yeah. Take care, and tomorrow is Saturday, all day. Don't know what will happen. I think it's supposed to be not quite as hot as it was today, but we are basically not going to have cold nights anymore, I think. But that's okay. Like all things, you have to try to keep a happy medium so you can go upward and onward.